Good evening, everybody. Longevity John here, bringing you a live broadcast, a matter of fact, a special live broadcast from the Duncan Showroom. This evening is February 15th. It's a Blue Valentine. It's an anniversary, the 14th anniversary of the passing of Willie P. Bennett. I like to say he's a good friend. I'm not sure, well, in my case, I felt he was a good friend of mine. I met him way back in '74 when I first arrived in London, Ontario with a broken down car and found out about Smale's Pace. And I remember walking up from the York Hotel, and he was walking towards the York Hotel, and we met, and we kind of hit it off right then and there. And over the years, I was fortunate at one point to actually be a driver for him for one of his tours across the country, and it was one of the finest 2 months I ever spent. And after that, we kept a really good friendship going. And of course, like everyone else, I loved his music. And one of the things I've been noticing in the 14 years, or the 13 years prior, is when people gather and we do a commemorative evening for him, it's people who knew Willie and people who've known his songs, and they, it's really good that that's happening. But one of our missions, at least one of my missions, has been to turn people on to Willie P. who never knew who he was. People like Malachi, coming out 13 years old. Lenny, who's never done a cover song before, but he writes great tunes and got so much great stage presence, but just hasn't, this is a great venture for her to go find someone else's music and then do her interpretation of it. And then there's John Stewart, a.k.a. Lip Forest, from Saskatchewan, who never had the opportunity of knowing about Willie, but I've turned him on to it. So he went through the catalog and looked to find out what song would work for him. And while doing that, he was able to also ask a friend of his back up in northern Saskatchewan, hey, could you help me out? Do you know this guy, Willie P. Bennett? He says, no, but I think I'm going to check him out. So the band's going to, those guys are going to look at the idea of doing it as well. And finding out who Willie P. Bennett was. He was a great songwriter. His deliveries were always immaculate in his own way, and he was a force to reckon with when he wasn't on stage. To say the least. Bill Levity's going to be doing a spoken word tonight, too, a spoken song, we call it. So that's going to be a nice way to interpret what Willie wrote, because he was, in fact, a poet. Not, songwriters, people think he always has to have that melody, but his words went together well, and it always seemed to, like the Lucky Ones. Oh my goodness, I never felt anything before that hit me at a time in my life, especially with my drinking and that. Wina wakes up, sees he's got 2 feet, counts himself. A lucky one. Wow, yeah, I understood that one because I lived it. But anyway, those songs and that guy did a lot for me. And right now, I'm really thankful that these people decided tonight they would help me remember Willie by coming up and doing some songs that they've learned about. John Stewart, take it away, please.
Oh, what a great introduction to the evening. I'm really happy to be out. Happy that there's a bunch of folks here, and happy to learn about some new music for sure. So yeah, as John said, I went through the catalog, and I was drawn to a 1975 album. I think John was telling me what it was before, but it took me enough to remember a whole song's lyrics in the last couple of weeks. So forgive me if I can't remember the album. But I settled on this one song after sorting through and finding a song called My Pie. That was a good song. And I think Ballad in Low E, that was a close one to try to learn. But I figured if I'm here solo, I'll pick a different one. So I picked one called Me and Molly is the name of that. And I had to keep remembering it was Me and Molly because I kept trying to watch a show about Golden Retriever or something and Owen Wilson. I don't know if you guys watched that one, but you quickly find yourself down that road if you're not careful. So this song's by Willie P. Bennett, and it's called Me and Molly. The sun, she was dying, going down slow. Clouds were bursting and bringing down snow. And all in all, no one really cared to know that the bitter end of summer is dying. I've seen a million dreams go up in smoke. Oh Lord, the way I laugh and scream about it, well, it ain't no joke anymore. Anyway, who spoke about it? Clouds went away and the moon came to stay. The stars were sending down jewel fire, and they shone through the window and showed me the glow of Molly, still flushed with desire. We all like to close our eyes and lick the snow as it flows by. See it on her face as a handful of aces, till anymore be the winner when it's time for us to die. Sun, she was dying, going down slow. The clouds were bursting and bringing down snow. And all in all, no one really cared to know that the bitter end of summer is dying. Thanks, everyone. Got my soda. Joined the soda club. Got my Crocs. Croc Rock. Go check out Lip Forest and Willie Bennett. Thanks for the opportunity, John.
Hey, thank you, John. Well done, me and Molly. I remember that song well, well, well. Boy, he sure has a wonderful voice, too. Did he know? He could get those low notes. Oh, God, he could. Hey, yeah, Willie P. Bennett put a lot of albums out. There was an album that was just before he passed away. He was going to be putting out there was a solo album, and through a series of events, it actually did get a chance to be released by a bunch of outlaw comrades or whatever that managed to grab it and somehow rather make sure that we could get the music out there. If you would like a copy, just get a hold of us here, longevityjohn@shaw.ca, and I can make sure you get one. It was really wonderful. I would like to have seen what else he would have written, but everything he did write was pretty neat. And this is a very special point for me right now, in that Lenny, who is just this, has this infectious energy about her that everyone just wants to, be a part of what she does. She's a great percussionist. When she adds herself in, she writes these songs that just like a little cherub cat. She just makes you want to just hug her and say, "Oh, that's so damn cool." But one of the things is she's never done a cover tune. And that's and for the sense of what the showroom is all about, which is all about creativity and original music. That's very, very awesome. So I'm very honored that she took this challenge up. She never let me know at the beginning. Only recently did I find out just to what extent that she's going out of her comfort zone for us and for the sake of who this guy Willie P. Bennett was and why we're here doing what we're doing today. I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know that, eh?
Love you.
Yeah. I love this. I got a best job in the world.
Me too.
Beanie Beanie, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi. So the cool cool part is my surname is Bennett. So I'm Lenny Bennett. I really thought you'd bring that up. Oh. No. That would have been even cooler, though. So I'm going to do 2 songs today. And Malachi actually helped me with the music. He printed both songs out for me and put the music on and everything and helped me play them. So thank you so much. The first one I'm going to do is called White Line. And it was one of his earlier songs. And it really spoke to me. There's one part, my foster dad picked up a hitchhiker once, and it was Mocha only. And it says in the song, that could have been me you're listening to on the radio. And I really loved that, because you never know who you're passing by. Yeah. This is White Line. Cold and lonely on the road. Lord, I wish I had a hole to climb in. Summer's warm rain sure ain't coming. It seems to me that I'm a thumbing again. Standing by the midnight highway. Excuse me, sir, you going my way. On and on the endless white line goes. Tired and hungry once again. Sleep keeps coming down on top of me. And all the time I keep wishing I had me a warm coat and hat so I could see. Standing by the midnight highway. Excuse me, sir, you going my way. On and on the endless white line goes. Sunny days are what I pray for. Golden sunshine on my skin. Head on south to the Teton Mountains. Lord, it seems to me I'm a thumbing again. Standing by the midnight highway. Excuse me, sir, are you going my way? On and on the endless white line goes. You know that could have been me you're listening to on your radio. Could have been warm inside someplace instead of standing here outside in the snow. On and on the endless white line goes. On and on this endless white line goes. On and on this endless white line goes. Yeah. Thank you, guys. The next one I chose, me and my roommate were going through Willie P. Bennett videos on YouTube, and this is one that we listened to, and I really, really loved. It's called "If You Had to Choose," and there's a difference between in loves. There's like infatuation and adoration, and he writes it so beautifully. If you adore somebody or if you're in lust with somebody, there's a big difference. And he's saying if you have to choose love. And there's a big difference. And he writes it so well, and it really connected with me. Take the one you love the best. Not the one who wants you just to hold you to her breast. She'll treat you fine, she'll be great in bed. She only wants to get in your head. She always asks, what was that you said to me in the other room? If you have to choose, take the one you love. Not the one who wants you, 'cause she feels you're above her. You can lie to her, it'll mean nothing to you. You can lie to her, it'll mean nothing to you. She'll show you pain, but you'll see right through. She only wants to hear those words, I love you, more than anything. If you have to choose, take the one you love. One who could leave you when you've both had enough. She don't want very much, the love that you bring her, the feeling of your touch. But every day, it's not necessary. You can roll away. Well, if you have to choose the one you love. Well, if you have to choose the one you love. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me up here, and I really encourage you to go look up some of this amazing songwriters' work. It's really special to me to walk down, find out more about his music.
Didn't your dad once tell you about Willie Bennett?
He sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know why.
Now I know why.
Thank you very much, Lenny, from the bottom of my heart. Lenny Bennett, Lenny Beanie to us. You can come back a little later this evening. She's going to be here for open mic. I'm sure she's going to be doing some of her music.
I sure
And I
am.
hope John's going to be staying for maybe a song or two. We're going to be
If
starting
he's up
really.
first.
He's up. It's not like you got to drive a long way home now. now almost within 5 minutes. So our next guest is young Malachi. Now, the interesting thing about Malachi is he's coming up 13 years old, and he's turned me on to lots of new music that's out there that I had no idea that I would like, with performers and that, just because he's involved in music, and he just does his research, and he brings things to the table that I never expected to hear from his perspective. And when I mentioned Willie P. Bennett, I said, if you're going to be spending such a life and musical journey that you're going to be doing, you need to know about Willie P. Bennett, like you need to know about Townes Van Zandt, like you already know about Tom Waits and James Taylor and people like that. These are people that wrote songs, and you'll learn a lot just from how they wrote them, why they wrote them, how you sing them, how you interpret them. It's really kind of cool. So when I had the ability for the last couple of years to have young Malachi get up, and his favorite was Lucky Ones. He knew I liked that song, so he's done it a couple of times. But tonight, I asked him, he went out and he went through the catalog, and he found two that he wanted to play, same as Lenny did. And it's really interesting to watch, because all I'm doing is opening the door, right? They got to go in, they got to look, and they got to find what they find. And it's kind of neat to find what songs are chosen by who. And so, have you got a couple of songs, Malachi? Two tonight? Okay. So I'm anxious to hear what they are and how he interprets them. And this is how we do it. We get the youth of today knowing who the ones before that they should be listening to. The one who wrote Silver Bullets. You about ready there, Tim? Okay. Malachi, you can come to the stage, please. Notice that Malachi is, in fact, wearing a headband. That's because he works with us, Trevor, Dr. Ted, and myself, while we do 39 Days of July, while we do Rainfest coming up. Matter of fact, you're doing a concert at Rainfest, aren't you?
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the afternoon for all the kids on the main stage, in City Square stage. That's pretty darn cool. But right now, he's got two songs that he chose that Willie P. Bennett to perform tonight.
First of all, I'm really honored to be here. It's great. I'm happy that I've been able to learn about Willie. He was such a great artist. I listened to a few of his songs, and these two were two I wanted to play tonight. So this first one is Faces. She never thinks of me when I'm here. She only dreams of me when I'm gone. My heart rises to my mouth as she passes by me. I can't make a sound. She gives me a mirror and a picture frame. She says, don't be ashamed to blame your blues on the man you see inside. He's trying desperately to hide. Injecting their reality with little fantasy makes it all easier to take. Some say this sets them free. Me, I found that it sound. No, I'm right, I can't fight the feelings. The hearts of men are ready for the revealing. I walk beside them in the rain, watch the distant and immortal pain. It's all the same. I know I'm right and I can't fight the feelings. The hearts of men are ready for revealing. I'll walk beside them in the rain, watch the distant and the mortal pain. It's all the shame. She never thinks of me when I'm here. Only dreams of me when I'm gone. My heart rises to my mouth. She passes by me. I can't make a sound. Thank you. This last one I'll do is it is Lace and Pretty Flowers. You got lace and pretty flowers to give your baby. Get her under your powers. You got silk and sweet perfumes. You know she might come up to you. If you got soul, you know she's gonna bowl you over. When my baby rolls me over, feel like a waterfly. I feel like I wanna fly. You got satin, lots of money, diamond rings and such things to trap your honey. You got big black cars, you wanna let her ride. Give it all to her, she might come over to your side. If you got love and a deep devotion, gets just as deep as the ocean, just you two inside, just you two inside. You got a house, mansion in the country, give it all to her, she could still be empty. You could be the richest man in the world. There's nothing I know of that'll buy you the heart of a girl. If you got love and a deep devotion, it's just as deep as the ocean, with just you two inside, just you two inside. Thank you so much, John, for always letting me get up here, and I'm so honored to be able to play at this event.
Well,
That's
thank you,
tribute.
Malachi. Some days, now you're turning 13, you're going to find about that room upstairs. Holy my goodness. You're turning a teenager soon, aren't you? like a full-on fledged 13. That's it. It's no more. It's a young man growing up. That's so cool. Thank you for learning those songs from Willie P. I really do appreciate it. And one of our last guests tonight is going to be, have you heard of spoken song before? It's kind of like William Shatner. He's the greatest of the, I mean, if I could ever get him to come to Duncan, I would have a spoken song.
Oh my God.
I would. No, can you, like, have you heard Rick Dennis do A Hard Day's Night? It's incredible.
Yeah, how do you say William Shatner?
Sorry about that. You don't like William? Thing is, only on Sunday, was it Sunday nights? Saturday nights. Saturday nights on MeTV. There's Star Trek, right? Like, I get stuck with it. I try not to, but I watched it the other night. It's just, he's so predictable.
Oh, we're not even on.
Yes, we will be. Hold it. What?
John? John? Those were some lovely renditions, weren't they? Whoa, yeah,
Yes.
that was beautiful. I mean, the way those artists brought the feeling out of Willie's songs. And
Well, here's the thing: is it was just quite funny. "Lace and Pretty Flowers" is the first time I heard you do a spoken song. You did this for a Willie.
John, what did you do for Valentine's? Did you get your lady some lace and pretty flowers?
Kinda.
Did you win her over?
Yes.
Did you get her under your power?
Kinda.
Kind of. That's sort of non-committal, sort of. But I'm glad you made an effort.
No, it was kind of neat because I had found this online. I had found this little doll. She likes dollhouses. She's got this beautiful dollhouse.
Right.
And I found this metal doll, like a couch, 2 couches in a chair in blue, and then a little sink kind
Yeah.
of thing, and something else, and 3 chairs and a little table. And it was kind of cool. And so last night I had to, after we finished our shows, I ran out to Shemanis to pick them up and brought them home. And the thing was, she gets up earlier than I do in the morning. So what I was going to do, and I have to get up during the night, is I was going to put them on the table on our little settee there. So when she got up in the morning, she would just go, "Where are these from?" And the thing is, like, they're collectors. Like, they're metal. They're really cool. Right?
Yes.
And I got home, and I was like, Christmas. I hate Christmas.
You couldn't wait?
I hate Christmas.
You woke her up?
No, she was awake. But we both decided that we can never wait for Christmas.
No.
So I went out to the car and brought them in.
No,
And
nice.
she went and got all the chocolates, and we both gave each other chocolates. So we ate all the chocolates.
You are a romantic at heart, my friend.
And she loved it. She just loved it. It's so cool.
I bet she did. Georgia.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's, the
That
beautiful
was-
Georgia.
You know, but the whole thing was, the setup was she was supposed to find it in the morning, right?
Well, that
And
was a
we
good
never
thought,
got
too.
that. You know, just, you know.
Yeah, but you're
It's a habit I
romantic
have.
heart. You know who else has a romantic heart?
You.
No, it's not about me. No, who, Bill?
Willie
Who?
P. Bennett.
Willie P. Bennett. Do you remember the first time I met Willie P. Bennett?
You're going to remind me.
I'm going to remind you. It's not about remembering him, but it is about remembering him. The first time I met Willie P. Bennett was the first time I met Longevity John, and that was 37 years ago. And John's first official show in Duncan was at a coffee house just down here, and you put on Willie P.
With- What's his name? Who
Was
ran
there
it?
another with? I
No,
don't
who
remember.
ran it?
Oh, I don't remember that
Started with
part.
an R.
Oh, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
That's right, Ronaldo the bicycler. And so I met, well, arguably 3 eccentric and wonderful Canadians in one night. Pretty stellar night for me, I'll tell you. It changed my life for sure. And getting to know Willie through you. And, you know, John, something else I remember. What, Bill? I guess I have to be the straight man.
What's that,
Something
Bill?
else I remember, John.
What would that be, Bill?
Willie really loved you. You know
Oh,
that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, he really
He
really
cared
loved
for me.
John. He
Made
cared
sure I
about you,
didn't fall
and
down much.
he would chuckle about your eccentricities, but in a nice way, in a loving way. Yes, and he really cared about you, and a great friendship. It was a wonderful thing to witness.
Well, this is why the Duncan Showroom exists. It's
So
because of
you
Willie
say.
P. Bennett, because of the many of that tour and playing in many places across the country where not everybody was listening completely or having the ability to listen in a perfect situation, right? So
Yes.
I decided we would do it. And as a matter of fact, the first time he got to play at the Duncan Garage Showroom, I said, well, what do you think? He says, it's great, but you might want to move that speaker out about 2 inches off the wall.
He was sharp, wasn't he?
was
He
sharp.
could just.
So I did,
Yeah.
and sure enough, everyone liked it.
Did he ever get a chance to work with the doctor? I guess not.
Never did.
He never got to tune in because Willie would tune in the sound man, give him the hertz and the
Well,
where,
that was
where he
his
was
job
off.
with Fred, right? He'd
Right.
go out and he'd be he'd mark off the stage, and then he'd just say, okay. And he would set up the sound check.
He'd do the whole sound check
He'd do the
with
whole
the guy.
thing. It was him. And then
Yeah.
Fred could walk out knowing that it was done,
Yeah.
and Willie would nicely run the sound tech through.
Oh, he was tough but nice. Yeah.
Make sure they did their.
And he was a good guy with the wrenches, Fred said. They'd often break down, so they'd be out there wrenching away.
The one story I've always remembered was that Fred was always wondering, but he called Willie his hippie
Really?
friend. And Willie had decided that he was going to quit smoking cigarettes, but he always rolled his own, right?
Right.
He wanted to roll his own. So he got this new herbal tobacco, which wasn't really tobacco, it was herbs.
Yeah.
And he would roll it up, and that was fine. But they were going across the Detroit, from Windsor to Detroit, to cut up to go to Winnipeg to do a short,
Right.
make it a quick route.
Right.
And unfortunately, when the guard found the papers and the substance, and they didn't know what it was, so they pulled them in and did the anal search, did everything
Whoa.
else. They were going
Oh.
they wanted to find pot, but there was none.
There was
but
no
while
pot.
they were doing it, they happened to search in the back of the bus. And that's when Fred didn't realize that his son had been playing in the bus, had taped 3 red sticks together with tape
Yeah.
to look like dynamite. And that's what the border guards found. So they shut down all border. They shut down the
whole
tunnel
border. Yeah, it's amazing.
for 8 or 9 hours while they decided that
Yeah.
before it was okay.
Willie P.
Fred
Bennett,
really
Fred
liked Willie.
Eaglesmith. He did, yeah.
They had some memorable stories together.
Here's another thing for these young kids who are learning Willie P. You know that thing he would do? He would play the hardest song to open the set, right? The harmonica one.
Yep.
What was that song?
Um,
It'll come back to us. But, like just get himself right up there at the beginning. And then he was ready. And it's coming back to
Matter
John.
of fact, when he showed up after his first heart attack,
Yeah.
the heart attack that didn't kill him,
Yeah.
he decided, he was going to do a show. So he stopped off in Winnipeg, recorded that album,
Right.
laid down the tracks for it, and then came out and did his first show since the heart attack,
Yeah.
at the showroom.
Yes.
And that's this, baby, get your red shoes? No.
We know it so well.
Oh, God. I can see it.
I know,
Anyway,
I know.
and he would, and like it was like, Willie, you're not going to get you're not. Are you going to get through? It was like
Right.
Eugene,
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep it. You don't have to show us
Simmer
all of this
down,
stuff
young fella.
at a time. Man.
Yes, that's right.
But I'm sure glad that you got that you were able to share some of those times with me that we met with Willie. And you actually got to stay on that place on Dundas Street for a while, didn't you? For a couple of nights or something, didn't you? Did you? When Willie and a bunch of those, and David Allen, those people were living up in that little, on one of our trips back east.
Different guy.
No, you were on one of the trips.
Yes, I was there.
Speaking of trips, spoken song is a whole new concept. I like it. Give it up for Bill Levity.
Thank you. Yeah, Willie was a good man and a really good mentor, and he is much missed. Sometimes you see it coming from a long way off, like a storm out on the prairies, and the weather's so hot, and the clouds start to funnel, and the ditch grass waves, and you wonder to yourself if anything can be saved. There's a restless wind out on the prairie tonight, and it startles the geese from their corn stubble meal, and they lift like a blanket in a chevron flight, and they laugh at the moon as they wing out of sight. Sometimes you hear it coming from a long way off, like a freight train whistle, so lonesome and soft, running 90 miles an hour through the prairie night. Then before you know it, you're caught in the light. There's a restless wind out on the prairie tonight, and it startles the geese from their corn stubble meal, and they lift like a blanket in a chevron flight, and they laugh at the moon as they wing out of sight. Sometimes you hear it coming from a long way off, and your heart grows restless, and your voice gets lost. And you start with goodbye, and you end with today, and you wonder to yourself if anything can be saved. Thank you, Willie. Willie's work can be saved. That's one thing can be saved, eh, John? The influence can go on. Get your red dress on. I got a red dress.
That wasn't the actual title, but that was the...
Oh, yeah, it was. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, thank you. This is just a little snippet of what I wanted to do, just to commemorate or to remember that Willie, it's only 14 short years. Seems like an eternity, but sometimes it feels like it was just yesterday. I still feel that he's around. I still feel his power sometimes, and I hope you do too. Do search out his music. Go back and I know that Robin Forrest down in Sioux Ste. Marie posted one today of Blue Valentine that was done up in Golden, BC, the video with Russell DeCarl and Keith Glass. And that bale of hay that he's sitting on in that video, I sat on that bale the next day and saw a little dog named Toto. And I took Toto, and it took 18 years, but the final offspring of Toto finally passed away. Willie P. Bennett, let his music live on forever. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll be getting ready for open mic in about 20 minutes, so come back and watch what we're doing.
If you ask any girl from the parish around what pleases her most from her head to her toes, she'll say, I'm not sure that it's business of yours, but I do like to waltz with the long drive, for he goes burning down and down white water. That's where the long driver learns to step lightly as burning down and down white water. A long driver's waltz pleases girls completely. When the drive's nearly over, I like to go down and watch all the lights